Sunshines. Coach Bree here. Had a great time hanging out with Mike at Dro TV. Keep it real. Real weed. Love you guys. Be good.
Welcome back to My First Time, the show where our guests get to tell their story of the first time they got high on marijuana. Today, I'd like to welcome a special guest, Bree, the First Lady of Hemp. How are you?
I am doing great. Thank you so much, Mike. It's a pleasure to be here today. I love that intro, the First Lady of Hemp. Thank you.
Yeah, we came up with that at the Cannabis Festival, and I'm hoping it sticks. So
thank you. I love it. I hope it sticks too.
You can find more of Bree on Instagram at Coaching with Bree.
Absolutely. Same
So
with Facebook.
We've obviously become good friends with you and Wayne and myself and Zach here at Dro TV. So if you could, Bree, tell our audience where you're located and a little bit more about what you do in the cannabis space.
Well, I'm Coach Bree. I'm located right now. We're in Florida, East Coast on the ocean in Jupiter. Getting ready to change up a few things here in the near future. I call it the gypsy lifestyle. Other people want to refer to it as the snowbirds, but I'm old. I'm too new school to be that old school to be snowbirds.
Nice.
So, lots of changes going on, but that's, part of life. And actually that's part of an amazing cycle of life. We just wrap it around and continue to move upward. So that's part of where we're going, or where I'm going with Wayne, my better half, AKA the Hemp Hero. Moving and grooving, the last couple years, pandemic came around and I lost touch with everything. I was in the restaurant industry as well. Kind of lost touch and spent some time to myself, and ended up having a major surgery that I had been putting off. Thanks to cannabis, I was able to put it off as long as I did, which is part of my story as well. It gets kind of the whole down the road with my first time. So grateful for my first time. But why we're able to have this conversation today is
Awesome.
because of cannabis. I love her. Love Mother Nature.
Excellent. Well, Bree, the show is my first time, so can you indulge us in your first time getting high experience?
Oh my goodness. So my first time, let's a little background on that. It was my freshman year of high school.
Okay.
And I was going to an all-girls Catholic high school. So that just kind of gives you a little bit of a, was definitely not pro quo. I wasn't in a public school system. I was in a very religious, holier than thou setting.
Mm-hmm.
And the best part of it was that the freshmen and the seniors get put together, and they call it the Big Sister, Little Sister program. So your freshman year, you're set up with a senior sister, and basically she just adopts you for the year, shows you around the first couple days of school, shows you around campus. And then throughout the year we would have different events where it would be, with your big sister, little sister event type things throughout the year, just, connecting and trying to make it more of a smoother transition for some of us that hadn't really been in a Catholic school setting. I mean, I had an 8th grade experience, but prior to that, I'd been public school, and it was just time to switch things over for a minute. It was definitely a learning experience.
Sure.
But so anyway, I'm sorry, my senior sister turned out, she was absolutely amazing. Love her. Still, we keep in contact somewhat, not as close as I'd like to be all these years later, but it's been a long time. But her best friend at the time happened to be the class president, the senior class president. So it was actually our first time we went out. It was a weekend, and we were going out for wings. And this wing place happens to be still to this day my ultimate favorite wing place. And
Okay.
um, therefore, full circle, I am now part time at my second favorite wing place here
Okay.
locally at Thirsty Turtle. Just saying, girl and boys. The greatest wings in South Florida, anyways. Um, so every time I'm at work and I have that smell, it brings me back to this night of being at it was Lucky Man's Pizza. I do believe they're still in business to this. They were a couple years ago when I went back to visit, but I'm not sure if they still are after the pandemic and all that. But they'd been there for 30 plus years. Lucky Man's Pizza, Erie, PA. You rock, best
Nice.
wings ever. Um, but so anyway, it was one of those nights, girls' night out, and one thing led to another, and next thing I know, we were sneaking out around back, and um, there was a toilet paper roll and some foil, and that was my first experience. It was smoking off a toilet paper roll.
Did you get high?
I did not. I did not get high my first time.
Okay.
Um, which was kind of a bummer. I mean, I think I got relaxed, but I think it was more I had too much maybe anxiety and just excitement for the whole night. You know, your freshman year, you're hanging out with a senior class president and a best friend, and you know what I'm saying? It was,
Sure.
but no, I didn't get high, and it could have been just because it was really shitty regs. Who knows?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Um,
Definitely nothing like what we have today.
right.
Nothing.
Right.
You know, I mean, that was oh my gosh, please make me date myself. I mean, I'm just going to throw out, it was definitely 30 plus years ago. I won't get
Okay.
any more specific than that. That's
Okay.
it.
No, no, no need. When did cannabis become a part of your everyday life?
Honestly, it wasn't long after that. That, again, hanging out with my senior sister, um, I then again smoked again a couple more times. And that's when I believe I had my first actual experience of being high. And then after that, it pretty much almost it wasn't a daily thing, but definitely a weekend. And once I realized how much it really helped with my ADHD or my ADD, that at that time girls didn't have ADD or ADHD, we just that just wasn't we didn't have that. I was a
Right.
boy. So, but it helped me really focus in school. I noticed that my grades were changing. And therefore it just really opened up my mind and helped me relax, allowed me to focus more. I didn't have to ever like do a lot of notes. I realized that I have a somewhat photographic type memory, which was really cool because
Okay.
HD cannabis was able to help slow down that continual. I may not be physically hyper, but I'm mentally hyper, and it's like a Rolodex that just never stops. And the more I smoke, the better it is. Right now, I feel like I'm chatty Cathy. That's because my anxiety is going, and I'm super excited to be sharing my story.
Okay.
Which I'm going to work on that because I know that the more I share, the slower I'll get, the more calm I'll become, and
Sure.
that's why I wanted to get kind of wanted like this is the first time for me too. Not only is it sharing my first time smoking and my experiences and how it's helped me, um, but also how it's going to further help me. Because it was shortly after that that I realized how much it really helped with another issue I was having physically as a woman, um, which then rolled into the whole fact that I found out I was diagnosed with endometriosis, and then I suffered with that and endometriosis, which is the same but of the uterus. And that's when I had my full hysterectomy a year and a half ago.
Mm,
If it weren't for all of that, um, again, we wouldn't have this conversation because if I would have listened to the doctors and took all the opioids and all that other crap they wanted me to do and take for pain and anxiety, and they did put me on Prozac, and I'm one of those one in a rare millions that it has the adverse effects. So yeah, that was a fun weekend.
it only lasted a weekend.
Well, no, I ended up getting Baker acted because it sent me over the edge.
Oh wow.
So I spent the weekend in a psych ward when I was like 18. because I had taken Prozac and I was prescribed it and I was taking it like I was supposed to, and I had adverse reactions, had crazy hallucinations, blah blah blah. So I don't do chemicals because if Mother Nature didn't create it and it doesn't come out of the earth, then we weren't meant to have it.
Hmm.
I know there are exceptions to every rule, and that's what they are, exceptions.
Right.
But nature created an amazing pharmacy that we just need to open our minds, bodies, and hearts to
Right.
what's really out there. And it really, it's about knowledge. It really is. And what knowledge are you going to really listen to? Are you going to listen to your body? Or are you going to listen to what some person that thinks they know what your body needs? Because
Right.
9 out of 10 times, I've been right when it comes to health, physical, this, that, everything, those type of issues. Because we know our bodies, and that's we have an anacannabinoid system, not a Zoloft or an ibuprofen system.
Right. Right.
Just saying. Well,
Bree, let's get into coaching with Bree. When did you become a coach? And let's talk about what it is you do to help people.
all right. Well, so coaching with Bree, I completed my coaching in on February 22nd of 2020. So right there at that whole pandemic, I had started prior to pandemic and graduated a year after or so into it. The whole point of going into coaching, it was finding my life's purpose. Ultimately, I had done so many things as far as just being in the restaurant industry and my service to others, and always knowing that I'm here to serve and how can I best serve. And after years of being in the restaurant industry and getting burnt out, oh, somebody's trying to peek in. Um, you get burnt out in the restaurant industry, and then that really solidified for me when I've been from one extreme to the other, from low end to managing, and still not serving the way my heart felt I needed to serve. So that's when I stumbled across a coaching ad on, it was probably Facebook at the time because wasn't on Instagram then, so it would have been on Facebook.
Okay.
And here we are. I love it because it gives me the opportunity to share my story, be real, not try to be what other people want me to be, because there are people that need me to be me. And
Right.
that's been the hardest thing, I think, for so many of us to finally get to in life and trust. It took me a long time. I mean, I took 28 years off as a single mom.
Mm,
And so when I say take that off, like I didn't focus on me for 28 years,
sure.
because I was focusing on being the breadwinner and doing and getting things done and all that whole survival mode. And so well, that was in 2000. So say the last 3, 4 years, I've really been able to focus on not just myself, but how I can really let my light shine. And that's where with coaching, it was like the perfect avenue. And then, with all perfect, what we think is perfect, the universe, like to say, ha ha ha, I got something else. You still got to learn. You got to go through this. So that was the surgery that I took a whole year to like plus to heal, because it's one thing when a woman goes through menopause naturally versus having a full hysterectomy.
Mm,
Every body is different to begin with. And for some of us, for me, in particular, it was like hitting a brick wall. I had every symptom. I thought it was going crazy. God bless Wayne. If you want to talk about like a ebb and flow up and down, he didn't know who I was I could be a person in the morning to a different person in the afternoon and a third person at night. He didn't know what he was dealing with. And so my heart goes out to him and I'm so grateful for him. But just for women and men in general that deal with that, because you think you're prepped and ready for it, but you just don't know how your body's going to react. So that's another reason why I'm so grateful for cannabis, because that's when I really started doing more edibles and versus smoking versus vaping. I have myself on a really awesome edible regimen on top of, I've also started doing some psychedelics, which has really helped with my PTSD, which is a whole nother story that we'll get into on today. But so that's my whole with the coaching was I just have so many areas that I can help so many different women and men, but I prefer to focus on women just because I was initiated into a sorority of sorts that no mom ever wants to be a part of, that I feel has enabled my coaching to go to the next level and
Right.
bring on another level of empathy in this world, as they want to talk about the feminine rising. And that's why I know for such a time as this, like my coaching, I feel is so right on time. I haven't said a lot. I haven't been out there much. I'm not known as much as I would like to be known in the cannabis industry, but that's what 2023 is all about.
Awesome.
And that's it's because it's part of the process. You know, you got to start somewhere, and it's a growing process, and finding your audience and really finding your niche. I still haven't really chosen a niche because I just I am me. I am my own niche.
I'm curious now. Did Wayne start and become the hemp hero when you were a different person at in the morning and at night? Did he say I need to be a different person in the morning at night, and that's how he started the hemp hero?
Um, that's I no, that's just something that's always been on his heart, and
Okay.
that actually started prior to surgery. Going through the whole Hemp Hero. Hemp Hero was already established before my surgery, so um, thank God.
Shout outs to Wayne, the hemp hero. We love Wayne.
We do. He's amazing. Hemp Hero is amazing. The Stigma Buster, and that really kind of helped me also get through that whole, because there were times where it wasn't always him, aka Hemp Hero. So we all like to live vicariously sometimes.
Okay.
That was a good help a couple times, getting me through a couple of events where I wasn't quite feeling myself. So I was
Right.
able to play a part, so to speak.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, what are some plans or goals for 2023 for Coach Bree?
Well, 2023, Coach Bree and the Florida Cannabis Chef are really going to be stepping out with Hemp Hero. I mean, we are, it's not an individual thing anymore. It's the three of us. I've referenced before in the past about us being the Lois Lane and Clark Kent of the cannabis industry.
Yes.
And I'm really looking forward to taking that to the next level and really being what we are, the stigma busters, and promoting plant medicines all around. I mean, uh, cannabis, of course, is our favorite, and hemp, and just educating all around, not just so much the medicinals, but all around with hemp. Like everyone wants to be all about, oh, planting trees, and it's like, wait a minute, we need to get back to our where our forefathers were, and it needs to be hemp, hemp, and hemp. Growing acres upon acres of hemp, because we can produce so many things and solve so many problems that have been created through other industries that 100 years ago they thought it was going to be the better way, and it was the better way this way,
Sure.
not so much for us. And that's really what Wayne and I are really focusing on in 2023, is focusing on humanity and what it means for us to be healthy and whole.
Hey everybody, I want to quickly mention food forest abundance. Food forest abundance is a great way to create your own self-sustaining food forest and naturally occurring ecosystem that's commonly found in nature, but designed specifically for you. Through multiple layers of trees, shrubs, herbs, vines, rhizomes, mushrooms, and perennial vegetables, you can become your own supply chain without the typical maintenance required of a garden. From small spaces to large areas, both urban and suburban, Food Forest Abundance wants us to get back to our roots in nature by engaging with our food production in a meaningful way. For more information, click on the link in the description below and start your journey today. Okay, let's get back to today's episode.
Is there a costume in the works for Miss Hemp Hero, the First Lady?
Uh, we've kind of talked about maybe a Miss Sativa that might kind of come out in the
Okay.
near future to kind of go along with Hemp Hero, female version. Sativa, she's always more, what was that, my strain? That light and bubbly or fun and bubbly?
Fun and bubbly. Yeah.
We've talked about it, but we'll see what happens. Right now, we're really focusing on moving forward with we're fully licensed with our CBD license and hemp license right now with our retail, focusing on that and just getting out there, doing a lot more events so that we can really be stigma busters. We love the kids, we love the families. That's what Hemp Hero is all about. That's what I've really always been about. I can remember back in the day, um, 8, 9, 10 years old, and I had this like amazing blonde towhead. I don't know what this is what having kids will do to you. I'm actually looking forward to the grays. But I had this amazing hair color, and all these I can remember going, "Oh my gosh, who does your hair? Where do you get it done?" And I would always say, "Oh, it's all natural." And I was like, "That's it. It's like getting back to nature." That's always been my my staple. Being as natural as I possibly can. Therefore, chemicals or the less chemicals, the better. I'm not perfect. None of us are. It's part of the process. And so we just want to be better next year than we were this year.
Awesome. I love the message. I love the duality of the Chef Wayne and the Hemp Hero. I was thinking maybe like I don't know how the costume would work, but Ms. Mycelium, maybe you were a mushroom or something, maybe.
Ooh. I've tossed around that a little bit, but I shut it out because of some other things that are going on. So I didn't want and I didn't want anyone to think I was stealing other ideas, so to speak. So, but I'm liking that, and I still like that. But we'll marinate.
I, these ideas just come to me. I give them away. So if you
I
need any,
love
you
it.
just let me know.
I
I'll just
know.
keep
I might be stealing that one.
It's yours. Take it.
Thanks.
Bree, we've got a few minutes left. Why don't you talk about your event that's coming up?
So, yes. So coming up on this, actually coming up here in just a couple of weeks, the winter solstice, one of my favorite times of year, because it is all about rebirthing. It's about dying to the old and letting things go and rebirthing and getting ready for the new. Shortest day of the year. It's that darkest point of your year, so to speak,
Mhm.
where you spark into the new year. So I'm having, hold on while I grab this. Ta-da! Zoom
Awesome.
in on this. It is winter solstice, embracing change. It is going to actually be in the Highlands Hammock State Park in Sebring, Florida. It's going to be, I'm doing a day retreat on the 21st, but if you're an adventurous glamping kind of gal, like a lot of us are, you've got camping options for Tuesday night and Wednesday night. And therefore, there will be a lot more ceremonies. We'll be doing cacao ceremonies. We're going to go gem mining on Wednesday and just doing some journaling and getting ourselves prepped and refreshed and shaking off the old and embracing what's yet to come. That's
Awesome.
21st of December, the winter solstice. So hit me up if you're interested. I only got, I think, 3 spots left
Okay.
as far as the camping goes. Now, if you want to do just the day treat, that's kind of open as far as the amount of ladies that can come for the day retreat. But the glamping 2 nights, I've got 3 spots left on that. So
Excellent.
it's like the escape right before the holiday or in the midst of others' holidays. We just sometimes as women, we need to remind ourselves that how important we really are. And it's an opportunity to escape the crazy chaos that's going on about that same time of year.
Yes, absolutely. And as always, it's a pleasure speaking with you, Bree. Our interview from the Cannabis Festival will be dropping soon. We just have so much content from the festival.
Oh, I
We're
can
not
only
able to keep up
imagine.
with it all. So
I know. I was so excited. I was surprised to see some of the interviews that you guys had done. That was so, it was so good. There were so many people there. It was awesome. It was probably one of the best events I've been to.
yeah,
Loved,
absolutely.
loved it. They keep growing. I love Zick Productions. Every event I've gone to, it just keeps getting better and better and better. So
That's
here's
great. Bree, what you smoking on?
this is some tutti frutti. Of course. What else would I be smoking? With
Sure.
something fun and bubbly. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's a hybrid, more on the sativa side
Okay.
to make sure it keeps me going. I told Wayne I was probably going to be crashing out for a nap after this because I'm sure I'll have a quote adrenaline crash. I've been trying to keep myself calm, but I get going and sometimes she just rolls. So I need to do more of these so that way I am more relaxed and more relaxed. I'm getting there.
Well, it's your double first time on this one, and we love you guys here at Dro TV. So thanks again for coming on the show, Bree. Let everybody know the best place they can follow you.
Best place is on Instagram, Coaching with Bree. I also have a Facebook page, also Coaching with Bree. And you can also start following along. I am going to be opening up a Shopify
Mm.
store with all of our merchandise and with my jewelry that I also do, my hemp jewelry, along with some of our Hemp Hero merchandise. It's going to be Zen Hemp on Shopify. It'll actually, hopefully, if I get time, it should be open later today, if not by tomorrow. So I'm super excited about that too. Almost forgot.
Excellent. Well, looking forward to checking that out. And if you like content like this, make sure you go down and smash the like button. Leave a comment for Bree. What do you think about the moniker, the First Lady of Hemp, Miss Mycelium? If you have one, comment down below. It may be stolen, so unless you think you should trademark it or register it, if you drop it down below, fair game. I'm telling you now.
Oh, I'm
And
liking it.
also, if you're watching this on YouTube, you got to make sure you go down and subscribe to Dro TV so that you don't miss amazing guests and interviews like this one with Bree.
Thank you so much, Mike.
You're welcome. That's it for today. I don't know why I don't put this up here, but I got my fake Delta 8 prop joint. And as always, smoke them if you got them.
You got it.
What's up, Dro TV family? You can now stream the audio version of all these episodes on your favorite podcast player. And if you like more episodes like this, check out this playlist we put together over here for you. And if you haven't already, subscribe to us on YouTube. You don't want to miss more great content from Dro TV. Thank you for tuning in, and as always, smoke them if you got them.